All right, guys, let's take a look at the Glycine Airman. And the Airman is one of the two of my favorite from the brand. It's basically the combat sub, the diver one. Pick your size, but I like the 42. Then, of course, this guy, the Airman. And I think, again, in 42, like this size right here, would probably be my choice. Now, there's a ton of different options, both in size, materials, and like dial configuration or movement configuration, because this is what they call a Purist. And you can clearly see on the dial there's an AM and a PM and a 24-hour register, and that's because this is a 24-hour watch. It doesn't do the 12-hour rotate, so you got to keep track of if you're in the AM or PM or not. Basically what they did is they took a GMT movement, in this case it's the ETA 2893, and they just put 3 hands on it instead of 4, and they excluded the 12-hour hour hand. That's it. That's all they had to do. It's that simple, honestly. So case size 42 mil, lug to lug 50. This is the one thing that Glycine does correctly, and they just have a nice turn down on their lugs, both on the Airman series and the Combat Sub. So even though it's a 42 by 50, and that might be on the extreme side of things, typically those measurements for, say, your wrist, but I urge you to try an Airman or a Combat Sub, probably some other ones as well, but I think everybody will attest or back me up on this, that they work on smaller wrist. This one actually is owned currently by my buddy David. Thanks for sending it in. And he has a little bit smaller wrist than I do. I think he's probably around 6 3/4, but he wears this. Actually, he wears a 42 mil Planet Ocean, and that one, but an older one. So that one works really good as well for him. So don't get too hung up on dimensions. You need to actually try the watch, is my point. The thinness of this is only 12.25 thick. It has a, double, is it domed? Okay, so I just noticed something else. This has a very slight double domed sapphire crystal, and it has a date magnifier. It's slight, but typically when you have a date magnifier, it is a flat crystal. This one, double domed and the date magnifier. I don't know if I've ever handled a watch with that before. 22 millimeter lug width here. Now, 2 different crown sizes. The primary crown that operates the functions of the movement, winding it, hacking it, and setting the time and the date, is only 5.4 millimeter. Now this crown here, this doesn't really operate anything on the watch per se. All it does is operate this locking mechanism. So if I zoom in a little bit, you'll see there's basically cogs on that piece. So all it does is it unthreads and it releases this portion here, so then it frees up the bezel so you can spin it. And that's how you would track your second time zone. So I don't need to track a second time zone right now, but if you wanted to, that's how you would do it. And then it is securely locked in position. You are not going to bump it or have any issues with altering that. So you know you got a clean timekeeping there. The movement in this, technically Glycine calls it the GL0072. Essentially what they did was put a custom rotor on it, and then they can name it whatever they want. But the reality is it's an ETA 2893. And we have 200 meter water resist on this guy. It's nice to have a display case back, and being really thin, keeping with the overall wearability of the watch for sure. I don't think there's really too many bracelet options, but this is something that you're going to want to wear on straps. This one works really good. This is not the factory strap, but this is a Dazari, I think. I found this logo here. I know it's upside down, but when I went to their website, it looks like there's one strap on there. I couldn't find this, so I don't know if they're out of business or whatever, but this is the single-passed leather strap that David had it on, and I think it's a good pairing. It's a good matchup for sure. I did throw this on the time grapher too, if you're curious. It's only running -3 seconds per day. That's dial up, so in different positions it would change. So you have a brushed handset there, kind of Dolphin style, very sharp and easy to read. You can see here it is, the hour hand is pointing towards a 20, which would be 8 p.m. So you basically just -12 off that, and that's how you're going to get your to convert it to a 12-hour timekeeping if you need to, which most of us do. And then of course the minutes aren't going to be changed, so you're right there at 5, or right in between there. So we're like a 17 or something like that. The date magnifier is only like 1.5 times, pretty weak. It's not a 2.5 times. That's what I would prefer. And this one's called the DC-4. So let's pop this thing on wrist, get a quick look at that, and then we will do a loom shot. Now, as I'm towards the end of the video here, this is where I'm going to tell you something, and it's subject to change, obviously, but this watch is actually available. So the information will be in the description down below. Here it is on my 7¼ inch wrist. So information down below in the description. You can email me, and when it's gone, it's gone. So I will basically get you in touch, or I'll take care of the transaction. But there it is on my 7¼ inch wrist. It works great. I mean, I could easily go to the next size up, and I have in the past. They make, you know, larger sizes. I've worn the 44, but this 42 is like more classic, more iconic. I don't know that I would really, personally, I don't think I would warm up to the 24-hour register of the Purist, but I know there's a lot of people out there, definitely current military and ex-military, would love to have it because they're programmed for it, they're used to it. So maybe it finds its way onto one of your guys' wrist. So let me kill the lights so you guys can check the loom. I don't expect amazing things here. Actually, I have too much light in the background. So to the naked eye, the hour hand and the minute hand are pretty strong. The Arabics are pretty weak. I don't expect long-lasting loom on this for sure. So nevertheless, still a very cool, fun watch. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.